Caitlin, you rock a mean Australian accent in this.
I'd like to welcome on the stage Belle Gibson.
It must have affected her that my book was reviewed as better than hers.
I'm sorry, who's her?
Miller.
She was diagnosed with cancer.
So she's consistently maintained. I have no reason to doubt her.
How difficult was it to master that?
I don't know if I mastered anything, but thank you
It was
for saying
convincing
that.
to me.
Okay, well, that means the world to me. First of all, I had a dialect coach. Her name was Jenny Kent, and she's an angel on earth. I would not have been able to tackle this without her. I was sort of like holding her hand throughout the entire process.
Sure.
I kind of learned it like a song almost. I think I really wanted to be so specific about it. I guess I just wanted to be as spot on as possible.
Sure.
It was also helpful being around all of these Australians. So that was helpful to my ear. And then I would keep like the news just on at my apartment while I was like going over lines, and just having it as background noise was helpful. But yeah, it was definitely like the most challenging accent I've ever had to do for anything in my life.
Loved the session. Full body goosebumps. Thanks for coming. Belle Gibson? The brain cancer.
Right.
Alicia, were you impressed? What'd you think of the accent?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd go so far. It's the best Australian accent I've heard a non-Australian do.
I love it. There you go.
Please.
Seal of approval.
Fantastic.
Well, you guys,
Caitlin, your work ethic was so
like
you were so
extraordinary work ethic.
I've not seen anyone ever work that hard to like keep an accent, and I saw how hard you were working, and like I honestly, I think that also the fact that it wasn't your natural accent kind of like, I don't know, at least sometimes watching you, I was like, oh, this is like lending itself to just like, I felt you transform as well.
wow.
Yeah, it was really helpful for me to use the accent to sort of like embed myself into the bones of Belle Gibson. And it really made me feel like a completely different person, which was
But you ate that. You did such a good
And
embodied
it's
it.
not
You embodied her. Yes.
You put mouth in places they shouldn't be.
I want to build something meaningful that lasts.
I want to do an app.
Belle Gibson.
She just wants me to help her out a bit professionally.
I have recently been diagnosed with a third cancer.
It has 90,000 likes. She does not have spleen cancer.
Apple cider vinegar, I have to tell you guys, is such a wild ride and so intense, and I felt like it was giving me shades of Inventing Anna. I mean, I certainly was binging episodes of this the way I was binging that show. Do you see the comparison to that, you know, another kind of rip from the headlines scripted series?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people love a scammer story, right?
Yeah.
And like Baby Reindeer, The Dropout. It's a fascinating psychology to try and understand of a person. Why would they do something like this? And for us, you know, in Australia, it was a huge story here. Like Belle Gibson's story was extraordinary. And now, I mean, it was also a very global story. She was, as terrible as she was, the things she did, she was incredibly impressive. You know, she was a businesswoman at the early days of social media. And so it's fascinating to watch the rise and fall, and especially the rise and fall of the wellness influencer in general. That's such an interesting time in our lives, I think, when that was happening.
Obviously, the show is, as you said, is based on a true story. Caitlin and Aisha, were you able to have any conversations with any of the parties involved or the people that you played as you were preparing for this?
No. So this, I think that's why I appreciated the storytelling so much, is that Sam Strauss, the writer-creator, is really focusing on creating her own world with this based on the lie. And I think that was really exciting for me, because it gave us a lot of freedom in bringing what we wanted to the characters, and also developing it with Sam and with Jeffrey, the director. And so we did not speak to anyone, because these are it's sort of like our versions of these.
And Chanel, I know it was also kind of like 3 or 4 different people kind of squished into one person. And also Chanel in the book, I remember reading it and they were like, she was blonde and petite. And I was like, sweet, neither of those things, but I'll do it. Try my best.
Can I ask, what do you think or hope that their reactions are when they watch this series? You know, the people and the parties that were involved.
Have y'all thought about that?
I got asked that question last night. They were like, what do you think Belle, like the real Belle will think? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope they like it. I hope they have a fun time.
Right.
What a cool show.
It is a television series, you know, it is entertaining. It is. Well, and here, I'll pivot a little bit here because the show also at the center, there is, you know, obviously a story I think that could resonate with a lot of people, you know, specifically people who have been impacted with health battles.
This is a big story.
It's about a woman with terminal brain cancer.
She's probably killing people with her lies.
Lucy idolizes her.
I don't want to be messed around by more doctors.
What emotions did you experience portraying this story, and how challenging was it to really kind of deliver on the emotional part of it, knowing that it's also based on truth?
This story was also very personal to me. My mom was dealing with stage 4 breast cancer when I was shooting the show, and she had been dealing with it for 14 years, and I know what that struggle feels like. And so the Mila storyline, it really hits home for me. I think it's really important to show the sort of toll it can take on a family and can take on a young woman, and someone who's just trying to fight for her life and trying to be her own advocate. And so I think that was a bit, like, honestly, your storyline was the big, even though I was going to be playing Belle, I thought her storyline was a really important one to showcase into the world, because I don't know if that's like the world of cancer in that way, and trying to look for other answers is really talked about in such a raw way like this. So I was appreciative of that.
It's really easy to dislike the character of Mila because she is making some really misguided decisions. There's a lot of fallout that happens, but it's fascinating to see something so raw and so personal, and someone fighting for her and advocating for herself, and the complexities of that. And I think, you know, we often see it as so black and white, as Caitlin was saying. It's like modern medicine and then alternative therapy, and neither the twain shall meet, and it's very one or the other. But I think with this, like, there's a little bit more grace shown for people going through something like this, and that maybe it is taking a little bit of both, and how it is just, it's complex. It really is. And so I think maybe it offers a little bit of like hope and or even just that people trying to find hope, that there is some compassion for that, but also that you should probably not take the advice of wellness influencers, and that is also a dangerous territory.
Yeah, but let me just say, it was beautifully done. So congratulations. You guys should be very proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.